Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Al. I had an interesting experience a couple of weeks ago. I've been separated from my wife for about 6 months, and I noticed an interesting pattern in myself. It seems like being a man, a lot of people are getting all this whole getting on board with this red pill thing, where like you're basically realizing that if you're not 6'5" and don't make $200,000 a year, then you're gonna struggle to pick up women, And it seems like you don't know these stats. You don't know stats like that. Something like 80% of men are just not having sex because the bottom 80% of men are fighting for like the bottom 20% of women, right? And the top 80% of women are competing for the top 20% of men. So I think there's been a pattern through my life where like I'm single, and then as soon as I get a little bit of love from one woman, as soon as she gives me the time of day, I'm like, oh, this is her, this is the one. It must be fate or whatever you think. And then I fall head over heels, and next thing you know, I'm in like a relationship with her. This seems to be a pattern. It seems to happen over and over again. As soon as a girl gives me time of day, I think like, oh, this is it. I'm gonna lock it in. And it's not good. It's not good, And it's not because I walk up. It's not because I approach a girl. It's not because I approach a woman and make the moves. It's usually when the girl she approaches me, or I don't even know. I don't really know. What I do know is that whenever I become single, I go through this phase where like I don't have sex for, it could be months, it could be a year, however long, And I'm not exactly sure why it's so hard for me. I feel like I'm a pretty attractive guy. I like to stay in shape. I definitely lack in the confidence region. I'll walk up and the same way I talk to a bro or a guy friend, it's very different from how I'll talk to a pretty girl. I'll like, you don't mean to, but you start acting different, I'm trying to, what's that smell? I'm trying to fix that. And I think it'll happen over time. I think it will. But here's the interesting experience I had. While I was still with my wife, we threw her a birthday party, and at the birthday party, we passed out these little chocolates that had psilocybin mixed into them. Psilocybin is a psychedelic compound, and but it was a small amount. It was like 0.5 grams or something, and a typical dose of that is 1.5, so it's pretty much a third of a dose. And we were drinking. I ate one of those, and man, I tell you what, I specifically remember it taking away all of my inhibitions. It was like beyond alcohol. Alcohol does that for sure, but it feels like you got to get to the point where you're sloppy before I really let loose. This with the mushroom, with the psilocybin, man, it was almost like I took like MDMA or something like that. It was like all of my inhibitions went away. I was talking and yelling and singing and dancing the night away, dancing as if no one's even watching, That was pretty fascinating to me when I look back on it, And then it got me realizing, hey, maybe I need to try this when like I go out, maybe it'll have some effect. And so I did. I tried it. I said, I'm going to go out in town. I'd been out in the town a few nights already. And, you don't get nothing really happens unless I would have to approach a girl for anything to happen. Well, this one night I took some more psilocybin and then went out drinking. And I'm telling you, something was different. Something was different. It was like on an energetic level or something. I'm not exactly sure what. But first place I end up, I'm sitting at the bar. I'm eating a burger. I finish the burger. I think I'm drinking an old fashioned, something like that. And a woman comes and sits down next to me and starts talking to me and my buddy. She sits down right to the left of me. It's a pretty girl. Starts talking to me and my buddy. And I could tell she was interested in me. And this was like, what the heck? Coincidence? I don't know. But I ended up having to tell her to get the heck out of there, because I'm hanging out with my buddy. I hadn't seen him in a long time. I politely told her, look, you're beautiful, but I'm here to hang out with my friend. And she said, I only came over because I thought you were hot, And I'm like, thank you very much. Have a nice day. So I sent her on her way. So first experience, that was pretty early in the night, And then we hang out for a little while longer. He takes off, and I said, screw it, I'm going to go to the gentleman's club. I go to the gentleman's club, and it seems like, it's that could be all in my head, but it seems like there's a lot of eyes on me, I wasn't spending any money in there. I don't like to spend money in there. I just bought a few drinks, and they kicked me out because I wasn't spending enough money. So then I stumbled over to the next bar down. I sit down at the bar. I turn and look at a girl. I just look at her right in the eyes, and I guess, before I get to this, after I left the restaurant, before I went to the gentleman's club, I skipped this. I go outside, I start walking down the front, the sidewalk in front of that restaurant. And I turn and I look at a group of girls, and they stop talking, and they turn and they look up at me. Like it's like, I don't know what happened, but they stopped and they turned and they were silent, and they looked at me walk by, and I was looking at all of them. Another weird thing. Then the gentleman's club, got thrown out of the gentleman's club, ended up at another bar, forget what it was called. I don't even remember if I paid in any of these places. I sit down at the bar. As soon as I sit down, I turn. I don't even say a word to this girl. I turn and I look at this girl, and I guess just the energy, the look in my eyes. This would never happen if on a regular day. I look at her, and she says something like, she yells at me and says something like don't fucking look at me like that, or something like that. I was like, I think I started laughing, and I turned, and as I was turning, she fucking open hand slaps me right across the face. I didn't say a word to this girl, and she yells at me and slaps me right across the face. Another weird, what the heck is going on? I turn, I sit back down at the bar. I was already sat. I just turn forward, I mind my own business. Shortly after that, maybe, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that, another girl comes and sits down next to me, and is all googly-eyed at me, and no inhibitions. My arms around her. I'm, got her by the waist down here low, and I'm pulling her in close, and flirting big time. Don't care. There's no, where usually I'd be so nervous to even say some of these things, but I'm being so forward. Again, totally out of character. This wouldn't happen if it was just with alcohol. And eventually, I think I did sneak a kiss with her, just one. And then she went on her way. She left. And then right before I leave, right before the bar closes down, there's a girl and a guy just down the bar. And I overhear, just because there's, you're looking around, people watching, I overhear that she wants to come over. She wants to come and approach me. She wants to come sit down next to me, and I don't know what. And the guy she's with, I guess they're not together. He's in the friend zone, it seems like, because he's saying he's like helping her weigh the options. Like, well, you could go with him, but then it basically trying to talk her out of it. You could, but then this negative thing would happen. But then again, if you don't, then this positive thing would happen. But she kept looking over at me and talking, and she was intoxicated too. But I'm telling you, on a regular night, none of this stuff happens. It doesn't happen. But on this night, it did happen. And looking back in the past, I think this has happened before, and I never put the pieces together. I'd taken some LSD at one point, and the very next day, some girl came up and this was years ago, tucking her feet underneath of my leg while I was hanging out in this social place. It was like a hostel, like a hippie retreat. And then another occasion where I think I hallucinated the night before, and then I went to work the next day in the airboat club, and then this black girl who was in town, she was hitting on me. She came up and was like touching me on the face. And so I'm going to keep experimenting with this. I don't take hallucinogenics all that often. And nowadays when I take them, I don't hallucinate. You know, I take a small dose just so it's a little boost, you know, and takes the inhibitions away and stuff. But I mean, if you're someone who struggles with anxiety and approaching women, this might be something you want to try, because I can't approach a woman. It doesn't matter how drunk I get. I can't bring myself to go up to her, and if I do, I overthink it all the way in, and then I screw up whatever I want to say. But this took all that away. I don't know what it is, but it helps me with women. Psychedelics help me with women, as long as I'm not, you know, faces aren't melting. You know what I mean? So, hey, do some research. I tried to research it and see if it helps. It seems like some people it helps, some people it doesn't, but there's really not too much information about it. So I figured I'd share it, and I think I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to continue this out. I'm going to see if this is actually something that can be like repeated, you know. So I'll let you know how it goes. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. If you've tried it or have any questions, leave a comment down below. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a nice day.